Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sports.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B. Levels up, turn me up.
You should be turned up.
Why?
You should be turned up.
What that's supposed to mean?
The Adebayo family has had a good week, man.
Oh. I mean, I've been good. I'm fine. I'm good. I don't know what you. Oh. Yeah. Hold on, I got you right now. I got you real quick. Hold on. I got you. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't find the little the little cashier thing, the money joint. But nah, man, this is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B.
So free agency started. There's been some people getting new money. So I guess we could start there. Donovan Mitchell got a new deal, got an extension, as did De'Aaron Fox and what's the dude's name from Brandon Ingram and Bam, like you stated. But I think that's pretty dope, man. Like these guys have been putting in the work, and that joint is good, man.
Yo, that joint is fire. I just look at it. They're all young, so they've got an opportunity to secure the bag again. I want to tell you, again. I want to tell you, when I saw your brother got cashed out, I almost quit my job for it. I was like, I was like, nah. I was like, yeah, let me chill. But
don't quit. Please don't quit.
Oh yeah, be salty as hell. It'd be like, I don't know you. Why would you do that? Why would you quit?
We got, the draft. You can't forget about the draft.
Oh. Before we get into that, I want to give all of our friends a resounding fuck you for alluding to the fact that you deserve a promotion, a bigger chair, that we need to change the show, the Adebayo show. Yo, I want to tell you, look, right? Neither one of us came into any money, but I see how money changes friendships, man.
Man, look, they act like I'm the one that got. All right. So listen, I'll say this: Anthony works hard for his money. He earns his money. He doesn't live off of anybody else. Okay? So don't call me or ask me about a loan. Don't ask. Because I ain't got 100 million. Okay.
Yo, I was reading the comments. I was like, damn. I was like, yo, they want to write me off like that. Yeah. But I know it was all jokes. But it's truth in every joke. I've always been a firm believer of that. But
just for the record, I just want to clear some things up. When we're in the studio, we're playing the music. I'm on the boards, so and no one can even tell that I'm sitting up a little higher. It's not like if everybody was at one table, me and Scott would be at a table. It's not just because I'm sitting a little higher doesn't mean that I hold some sort of power or anything. No, it's just that's the way the studio's set up, and that's where the damn mixer and the board is. So, but anyway,
But it was crazy, right? I started looking at the comments, and there's a couple of cats that were leading the little seat movement for Scotty B. And to get the little seat, I was like, your friends, man, you got to watch your friends before you watch anybody.
Yeah,
but nah, It's all fun and games.
Definitely, congratulations to all these guys that's getting the new money, man. That is dope. Is life changing. And I mean, ain't really much else you can say. You know, these guys, they put the work in, and and these guys that's getting paid, you know, they work hard. They work hard. You know, you've always had some guys in the history of the league that was getting paid, but shouldn't have really been getting paid. You know what I'm saying? And these guys, I know personally that these guys put in work, and that they deserve every penny, if not even more.
What was impressive, and we can't leave it Jason Tatum out too because he got the bag too.
Absolutely.
What was impressive about Bam's situation though is Pat Riley is not going to give you the bag unless you deserve it.
Right.
So you know that was just seeing that Miami went ahead and say, you know what, this guy, he's in our future plans. He's in our building blocks. We're going to build the team around him. We're going to keep it moving. Now it says a lot about him.
All right, so free agency started, but before free agency, it was the draft. What was your take on the overall draft? This should be fun.
I thought the overall draft was boring. It was.
I agree.
Tough to get behind the draft because you didn't really have the draft hype. You know what I mean? Like every year they hype up like the number one player and they make you think that they're the greatest player
right.
That come through the NBA. And if this team doesn't pick them, they're doomed. And this is a can't miss prospect. And maybe a lot of that had to do with the shortened college season, not having the traditional tournament, not having the conference tournament. So maybe that was a little bit of it. But I felt like outside of the top 5 picks, I knew a guy here and there, but for the most part, didn't know a lot of those guys.
Yeah, it was. So this is one thing I'll say, and this is why the NFL continues to be better than the NBA. Let me not say continue to be, but this is why
you have froze up.
I froze up.
You froze up for a second.
You hear me now?
Yes, the last thing I heard was NFL.
Oh, so this is why the NFL is the top dog, right? Because they both have virtual drafts, but man, this draft, like you said, it was boring, and it could be because of it wasn't really a shortened season, but we didn't have the tournament, you know, and the NFL draft was also virtual, but it was pretty cool. It was they put on a good show, you know. So it was, you know, like I agree. I guess it was a bunch of no names. You know, once you got past the third pick, it was like I don't really know who that is, but it just was boring. There was no like excitement level to it. You know, go ahead.
So one thing I'll say is the timing of it a little bit. It wasn't the NBA's fault, but at least with football, the draft was somewhere along the lines of where it would normally be.
No, it was.
Yeah. But now, you know, we're getting the draft in October. You know, we've come off this. To me, it was a great season. I know the ratings didn't show it, but it was a good basketball season. And then you had the draft, and there's been a good free agency period too. And I know we're going to talk a ton about some of the teams that have just improved. My God, the Lakers.
We'll get to them.
Yeah.
So all in all, again, it may not have been the NBA's fault, but man, it was tough. It was tough to watch. You ultimately had people watching other shows. You know, I know we were doing the battle.
The Chicago PD.
Chicago.
The fire, the police.
Yeah, and so, I mean, those are good shows, though. Don't get me wrong. Those are good shows. But I mean, I guess we could get into some of the free agency signings and who got better, who stole money, who took less money. I guess let's start Lakers. And so the Lakers pretty much turned over, about 80% of their roster. Traded away Danny Green. Rondo, they let Rondo walk. They let Dwight Howard walk. They let Bradley Avery walk.
Avery Bradley, yeah.
Avery Bradley. He got 2 first names, man. There's nothing I can do about that. So those guys, and then they got in Montrezl Harrell. They got Dennis Schroeder, who were the 6th man of the year and the runner up. So it's like they got Mark Gasol. They still, if I'm not mistaken, they still have JaVale McGee, right?
No, JaVale McGee's gone too. I forgot.
JaVale McGee's gone. So yeah, I mean, regardless, they turned over their whole roster for the most part. Anthony Davis hasn't signed yet, but we all know he's gonna re-sign. And they got one more person that I'm forgetting, and they still have Kuzma for now.
Yeah, they got Caldwell Pope too. They re-signed him.
Yeah.
They got one of the Morrises. I always get them mixed up. Yeah, but one of the Morrises are re-signed. You said Mark Gasol, but it was another big. Which I mean, that's an upgrade for his perimeter shooting alone and the defense that he's able to play. And also he could play down low and let Anthony Davis be stretch 4. Harold, Wesley.
Yeah, Wesley.
That was an upgrade too. I mean, that's a better shooter on the wing, nice veteran. The key with the Lakers too, man, they barely paid anything for any of these players. They didn't have to break the bank, and I think I'm not going to say we were tough on them, but I haven't really been a Rob Pelinka fan since the whole Magic Johnson thing. But he does deserve a lot of credit for what he's done with this roster and what he was able to kind of interchange and make them make some of the pieces fit a little bit better around LeBron and Anthony Davis.
All right. So how you think the Nets are going to do?
Outstanding. They're saying that Kevin Durant is going to come back full speed. They said Kyrie Irving looks great. The East is not as weak as I would have thought. Let's talk Hawks for a second. So right now, I've got the Hawks winning free agency. I think the Hawks
completely over, like in the whole league, or just the East?
I say the entire league.
Ooh, over the Lakers? The Lakers just won a championship and got better.
They won the championship and got better, but one could argue that they really didn't need to get better. You know what I mean? They got better, but I mean, they were coming off a championship. They were going to make it work. Okay. I think the Hawks, with the moves that they made, they propelled themselves into the playoffs. A lot of people say eighth seed. I think they could push for that 6th. Fifth is a stretch, but fifth is a stretch. But I definitely think that the Hawks are a playoff team with the roster that's assembled.
Dang. No, so I can agree there. I can agree with them being a playoff team. But I have to disagree about them winning free agency. Now, don't get me wrong. Getting Bogdanovich, getting Rondo, they got another guard. They got
Gallinari.
They got Gallinari.
Now he might have stole. He might have stole the most money.
No, I think that, and we'll get to that. But I think that Gordon Hayward.
It's a toss-up. Yeah, it is a toss-up.
But so I think that, man, they had a really good free agency. Like, it had a really good few days. I do see them going to the playoffs. I don't see them as the winner of the free agency, though.
Okay, so you still go with Lakers. Let's stick to some. Let's get into some other teams that had good.
All right, what do you say? Let's talk Nets. Let's talk Nets. Let's talk Nets. So the Nets.
Okay.
So the Nets. So it's looking like and again, we just don't know. But the Nets, that of course, the rumor is about James Harden, and I, as much as I want to say you should trade four or five guys and picks for James Harden, I don't think that they should, because I think they're going to end up looking like the Nuggets after they got rid of Melo, and it was just like they were just like blah. You know what I'm saying? Granted, they still have KD and Kyrie, but I don't think you're gonna have, because if Houston's smart, they're not taking anything less than Kyrie Irving from the Nets. You see what I'm saying?
I think with the moves that Houston has made, okay, so let's get back to your point about the Nets.
Mm-hmm.
I totally disagree. If I could get away with giving them everything to get Harden, I could get 9 people from the D League to play with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving.
Hold on.
I get the
Kyrie, now you're giving Kyrie and KD way too much credit. They're not LeBron. Then listen, no.
Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin. I can find.
You'll trade the whole roster. You'll trade the whole roster and keep Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and Joe Harris,
and I'll figure the rest out.
You're crazy.
I'll get some people from Europe. I'll get some people from.
You won't win a championship. You are not win a championship. No.
I would at least come out the East.
And that's even a stretch, because Milwaukee got better and Miami got better.
So let's be frank, right? They wouldn't give up their whole team.
Right,
but if they had to give up 3 or 4 players, and I got to keep Kyrie. Let's say I had to give up LeVert. I gave up Harris. I gave him Dinwiddie
because
we just signed him. But let's say I did. Let's just say I had to give him up.
Okay,
I had to give up Dinwiddie. I've got to give up the center with the fro. What is his name?
Jared.
And then
mm-hmm.
And they could take DeAndre too. I give all 5 of them up for Harden.
Well, that changes things, because you still have KD and Kyrie. You still have Wilson Chandler and Bruce Brown, and you said Joe Harris too. You said you give up Joe Harris, but you still got Tyler Johnson. So those. Oh, and they got Jeff Green.
Yeah, I mean, then maybe throw in Eric Gordon with Harden and give me PJ Tucker, and we'll call it a draw.
Gordon and Harden. Are you? Yeah. Stop smoking.
Okay, we'll keep Gordon. I'm trying to think who else they could give up. I was thinking maybe you could ship me Austin Rivers, but he's going to New York already. So I mean, I would do it. I would totally pull the trigger on that.
If you could keep Kyrie.
If I could keep Kyrie.
I don't know, man. I think that even if you have those 3, you're not beating the Lakers. And I hate to keep on sounding like I'm a Lakers fan. I'm not even a Lakers fan, but I mean, nah, man. You're giving up way too much. Like, you won't have no interior presence. You can shoot a 3, but Kyrie and James Harden ain't playing no defense like that.
A smart GM would be able to assemble a team around those 3. The thing that I would be worried about or concerned with is the season starts in roughly about 3 weeks to a month. So it might not be enough time to have all those guys gel and to pick up the right pieces and put it together.
Yeah, you're going to be playing street ball.
Right. You know, so I don't know if the timing is right. If this was June and the season started in October,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it's more than enough time to get those guys together. But yeah, I would go all in. I think right now the landscape of the NBA, you have to go in. Even though the Lakers are the champions,
Mm-hmm.
they the moves that they made lets me know that they're not just after one championship. They're after two. They're after three more. So to hang with them, you have to make moves. We were talking about Milwaukee last weekend about how the moves they made sense. They put themselves in a better position. But now we're looking at all the other teams, and I'm circling back with Milwaukee, and I don't know if it's enough now.
Yeah. No, I still think they're a top 2-3 seed in the East. Milwaukee's still a top seed in the East.
Yeah, but with all those moves, and let's say the Nets do, let's say they don't get Harden, right? But they do make some other move to put them even further over the top. Does Milwaukee have enough? I don't think
Probably
so.
not. Probably not. Yeah.
You know, let's look at Houston. Let's look at what Houston just did.
And
Um, I mean, really adding DeMarcus Cousins to that lineup, and trying to right some of the I wouldn't even call it wrongs, but getting rid of that small ball image that they were
right.
playing with. You know, if I'm Harden, I'm looking at, and if I'm Westbrook,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's enough to at least say, you know what? Yeah, let me try it. Let me see where this is going.
And here's the thing. So they picked up Christian Wood, which is another big. They got Tyson Chandler. They got Boogie Cousins. You still got Eric Gordon, Harden, and Westbrook. You still got PJ Tucker. You got Stephalosha.
Got a reason now.
Austin Rivers is gone, right? Or he's still there.
Austin Rivers is with New York, but they got a reason.
Yeah, but they got a reason. So it's like, man, you might want to. They can compete now. The way they're assembled now, can they get to a top 4 seed? I think if you have Harden and Westbrook, you know, and you give it another season, there is a possibility that you can gel and you definitely can get a top 4 seed. I don't think that being a top 4 seed is out of the question.
If DeMarcus Cousins comes back to the form the Golden State Warriors had, which was a shell of his original self when he was with the Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
If he comes back to that guy that can average 16 and 8, I think that's good enough for them to be competitive in the West. I don't expect him to come back to the superstar that he was.
Right.
But if he can come back and he can get you 16, or we'll just say 16 and 10,
mm-hmm.
Because he could play the stretch 4 too.
You
know, he can shoot. He can handle the ball. He's a terrific all-around player. Now, whether or not he really didn't jump that much before, so I don't know how much of an impact it is going to have on his game. But yeah, I say that.
Yeah. I mean, look, it was. I think once they got rid of their GM, Westbrook and Harden, they was just like, get me out of here because I don't know what we're gonna do. But man, I don't know, man. Get a black coach a chance, man.
No, and I guess I can feel them. You know, I mean, I think both of them are 32. They're going into like I believe it's 12 or 11 for 12 season. You know, they're starting to see the end of their career to the point to where, you know, they've both been in the championship. Russell Westbrook just has not had the level of success without Kevin Durant. You look at Harden, he's been to the conference finals, but you know, his opportunities to get there are starting to diminish. So, you know, he's thinking like, you know what, it's either now or never. I need to take advantage of this. But if I take this money and I sit here and there's no direction with this team, nothing's guaranteed. One last team, though, I do want to throw in there that, ironically, the 76ers have made some moves that, with all the shooters that they've acquired, that's going to be a better team to watch next year or this year, shall I say.
Yeah, I and again, it's almost like I sound like I'm talking about the Cleveland Browns, but I think that the Sixers should be a top 3 seed, possibly even top 2.
It depends if Doc Rivers can get them to buy in. Right now, what's been evident watching that team is they don't buy into whatever system they're running. And it's clear chemistry issues. And, I've been very, I don't want to say generous, but, I like Doc Rivers as a person.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've noticed, other than his Boston teams, his other teams have had chemistry issues.
Doc Rivers?
And yeah, Doc Rivers. All those Clippers teams, between Chris Paul and Blake Griffin not getting along, between the whole Paul George and the Harold situation, just all those teams, for whatever reason, don't get along. And he's being brought in to figure out how to merge these two superstars, because it's clear that the team doesn't want to move on from neither one of them. They feel like they've got 2 superstars talents. If they could figure out how to make it work, they could possibly have a dynasty. That's going to be his greatest challenge, is if they can buy into what he's coaching.
And I don't want to use this as a beat up Doc Rivers, but doesn't that say overrated? That doesn't say overrated to you?
I say that's a critical.
If you're a coach and you constantly have chemistry issues, or that's what you said, right? That's it, like a locker room issue, like that screams overrated and can't get over the hump, which is what we've seen with Doc Rivers. Whether, like you said, the Clippers, the Celtics to an extent, but I mean that kind of worked itself out, But
so something I'll confess to. I've never really been a Phil Jackson fan, right? But the longer time goes on, because like one of the arguments you can always make against Phil Jackson is, yeah, Michael Jordan, yeah, Kobe Bryant, yeah, Shaq. But like when you really dissect, how do you manage all those personalities? And one thing that Phil Jackson did that was excellent, that he might be the greatest coach of all time with doing, is every player on a Phil Jackson team knew their role. And they didn't step past that role. And he figured out how to always motivate them to win championships. And you saw that with all of his teams. Now, my knock has always been maybe he wasn't an X and O's guy, but I think you've got to find that balance between the two to where you get people to buy into your system. I think Steve Kerr has done a pretty good job of managing the personalities, but still being enough for the X and O guys to where he could adjust and he could run his offense and he could do his thing. So that's, to me, what Doc Rivers has to get into, is he's got to, did somebody just say hire a therapist? As strange as it is, it sounds like, yeah, I mean, it's legitimate, but he's got to figure out how to get those guys on the same page.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree, man. But we'll see. I actually think this is a good. I thought that the Doc Rivers hire was a really, really good hire. But let's go back to Doc Rivers' old team, the Clippers. And so this is an interesting team. The Clippers are just interesting because it's like, you got Kawhi. You hear all these things about Kawhi and Paul George. They lost Montrezl Harrell. I've seen reports saying that they didn't want him anymore. They picked up. They re-signed the Morris twin, Marcus Morris, and they got Ibaka, and it's like, all right. I guess that's good, but I don't see where the Clippers like really got better.
Well, I'll tell you where they got better. Okay, so Ibaka, yeah, he's no hero. He's older, but he plays well with Kawhi Leonard. And there's a certain comfort level when they get into that two-man game to where they're picking and popping. Kawhi is at his best, and Ibaka knows how to move with Kawhi. So I wouldn't be surprised if he went to the Clippers front office and said, "Hey, I was successful with this guy. This guy, he's a big that knows how to move the way I need him to move, and I'm good with him." So I'm pretty sure that he had a little bit of doing in bringing him in. As far as the moves that the Clippers have made, they really hadn't made any moves. I mean, like you said, Ibaka, Harrell got exposed defensively. And the thing about Harrell is, and I do love the fact that the Lakers got him for cheap, and because they only got him for 2 years, $19 million.
Right.
But if he plays on that team, he's going to be expected to play defense. And that's something that he's got to work on. That Denver series exposed the living mess out of him. So I think the Clippers were looking at it that he's not playing defense. We can't use him.
I don't see. I don't think that's I don't really think that's fair. The like in regards to the boy, and I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses for him, but he had a lot of personal things going on, and he got to the bubble late. I give him a pass for that. You know, now again, I guess it's just that Denver series. I agree, exposed them, but again, I give him a pass. You know, with everything that he had to deal with personally, I think that Harrell, you know, should have got a pass. Now, I mean, $19 million for 2 years. The Clippers, I'm almost certain the Clippers probably could have paid that. I mean,
yeah. But you look at the situation with the Lakers, though. They've already got established bigs, so he's not going to really, other than playing solid defense and coming off the bench and giving them good solid minutes, he's not going to be held to the same standard that he was with the Clippers. So I think it ultimately is going to work to his advantage with the Lakers. But, you know, the Clippers, yeah, they let him go for virtually nothing.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, he was guarding the Joker. So, I mean, the Joker had plenty of people looking crazy. I guess.
What's your boy Michael Jordan doing, man?
And that was the one team that I wanted to end with.
Now, because we gotta get into football. So, yeah, what is Jordan doing, man?
Mike might be the best player ever. But as a like head of basketball operations or whatever, or he's the owner or he's the president, whatever he is. So here's my thing.
Don't let Mitch Kupchak off the hook either, because that's his GM.
Yes. And it's like, wait a minute. You were like, so were you really the architect with the Lakers? Because my God, this is terrible. And so the LaMelo pick, I can see that. I'm cool with that pick. But to give Gordon Hayward 4 years, 120, it has you shaking your head like, okay. Did it have to be 120? I guess they have the money and they have to spend it. But man, that's a terrible deal, man. That is a terrible deal. Like they could have. I'm not sure what that is, but okay. They could have spread that 120 out. They could have gave some of that to Montrezl Harrell. They could have figured out a way. They could have figured out a way to get 3 guys for that one deal, and create some depth for their roster. Now I'll say this: Gordon Hayward he turned down $34 million for this coming season. So he and his agent knew something. they knew that there was somewhere that he can go. That's why he would turn down $34 million. And if you're gonna, I'll cut my salary by $4 million a year if I'm still gonna get $30 million a year. It's crazy, man. Man, I don't know.
Yeah, so one thing too, and they're looking at moving Batum.
That was another terrible deal.
Yeah, it's a horrible deal, but they're taking suitors for him. More than likely, they're going to have to package that with draft picks to get him off the books. Graham, their point guard, had a phenomenal season last year. They should have got rid of Terry Rozier. If you're going to bring in the ball boy, so now you've got three guard, the ball boy, pause, but the ball boy. It's it's mind-boggling. But Mitch Kupchak and Jordan are becoming the Bill O'Brien of basketball. Because Bill O'Brien, if I was a Houston Texans, I would figure out how to bring him back so I could fire him again for that bull crap that he did with DeAndre Hopkins. I know they got to be disgusted, but I've digressed. Football. Turkey Day tomorrow. Your boys are on. I think everybody's a little disappointed. We understand why they had to move the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game to Sunday. That was going to be the primetime game.
Right.
But we got Dallas and the football team going head-to-head. I will say this. Dallas looked pretty good last week. The defense looked a lot better. That's the Mike Nolan defenses that I remember as a 49er fan. That defense was aggressive. That defense was hitting people in the mouth. The offense, Andy Dalton seemed to have more control. Ezekiel Elliott went over 100 yards. So if Dallas can sustain that, they'll probably be able to take over first place in that division.
Well, after we win, we will be in first place. Just for the record. Just for the record. I'll say this, and I'll give you your props, because I wanted them to stick with Garrett Gilbert, and you was like, at least give Andy Dalton one more shot. I feel like when I was watching that game, I was like, did this man hit Scott or something? And knew that I was like, because he didn't play like that, And granted, it was the following week after Dak got hurt, So, but he didn't look like that when they played against Washington last time. I am very interested to see how he does tomorrow and how he performs, because I agree. If Dallas can look like that, if they can play like that defensively, that safety Wilson, at least for a week had me saying, yo, we don't need a safety. And so we'll see how that continues. I'm not going to get all, we won, blah, 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 because I'll just be setting myself up, and then they'll lay an egg tomorrow. And I'm like, really? So I'll say this. If they can find some sort of consistency, with on defensively and get those key stops, you don't have to shut nobody out, but get some key stops, then yes, they can win the division and win, go to the playoffs. But as far as right now, I honestly don't know who would win that division. It's like, everybody says it's a bad division. I say it's competitive.
I think competitive is over generous. But I will say this. Okay, so the true test is going to be against that Washington line. That Washington defensive line looks great. Now the offensive line for the Cowboys, they've made their adjustments. They've shuffled some people around, and that's helped.
Real quick,
yeah,
that may have been the move of the year in the NFL. That may have moving Zach Martin to tackle. That may have been the move of the year.
Yeah,
may have saved the season.
Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out. Carson Wentz.
Oh, wait. Go ahead. No, the floor is yours. I have a question.
Okay, go ahead with your question because we're probably going along the same line.
So, do you still think that Carson Wentz is better than Dak?
No, I was wrong on that. I was dead wrong on that. Carson Wentz, I don't think he's ever recovered from being hurt. The Carson Wentz that we thought was the MVP and was going to take that team to the Super Bowl, that Carson Wentz is gone.
Agreed.
This Carson Wentz,
agreed.
Is mind blowing that he's still even in there, but he has to be in there because they got so much money tied into him.
But I don't think Jalen Hurts is the answer anyway.
No. He's not the answer, but I would probably bench if Wentz goes out there and starts having that a game like he normally has against Seattle. I think you need to pull him and at least put Jalen Hurts in there. You know what I mean? Whether or not you go back to him next week, you can go back. I mean, he's so bad. He has the opposing players. Did you see DK Metcalf and I think it might have been Lockard? They were talking about that the Eagles need to start Hurts.
Yeah, but of course you.
Of course they're going to say that, but
DK Metcalf shouldn't say that because he destroyed Ole Miss the whole when they were there together. So yeah.
So let me ask you this, and I want to stir up a little bit of controversy.
Oh boy.
So we had the Saints, right? So the Saints, they were set to start Jameis Winston, and they ended up starting Taysom Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mind them doing that, but I felt bad for Jameis Winston in the sense that he basically signed there with the Saints thinking he was going to be a backup quarterback. Mm-hmm. And it was just kind of like the opportunity for him to make more money possibly next season.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I think it just kind of went out the window with them starting Hill. What are your thoughts on that?
So they won, right? They did win. So I guess they made the right call, but I don't think they would have lost if they started Jameis, right? I think Atlanta's that bad. I just found it a little funny. I found it a little funny that they started, Taysom Hill instead of Jameis, and didn't really give an explanation. I guess they don't really owe, but I as a consumer, I think that we all do deserve an explanation on why they chose Taysom Hill over Jameis Winston. I don't want to hear that he knows the system better. He's only thrown, Jameis Winston has thrown over. He led the league in passing yards last year. This is his 5th year in the league. So I personally think that they should have went with Jameis. I don't know. I don't know how far that running every, because he didn't throw a touchdown pass. He ran 2 touchdowns, and to not put him in at all. I thought that was kind of weird because last year when Breeze got hurt and Bridgewater was he was the starter, but they was always putting Taysom Hill in. Whether it was certain packages or they put Taysom Hill in, to throw the ball. So I don't know. It just seemed a little strange. I won't play the race card today. I won't, even though I've seen people doing that. I won't play the race card. I just still find it a little strange that when Bridgewater was a starter, they still had packages for Taysom Hill and put Taysom Hill in. But when Taysom Hill he takes every snap. It's just it's just odd.
Yeah, I didn't really understand the move. I guess the answer that we all got was that they felt like Hill was a better quarterback, and that if Breeze did go down and in the middle of a game, Jameis would come in because Hill does so much more, and it would kind of like mess up that sort of thing. But the next week he would be the starter. So Sean Payton did go on the record as saying that before Drew Brees came in, but I still don't understand the thought process. If you have Hill there, you move on from Bridgewater, why do you bring Jameis Winston in?
Why you bring him in?
And if I'm Jameis Winston, go ahead.
No, because they brung in Winston to back up Breeze, and he did he do anything wrong? He looked good.
Right, and that's where I'm going with it is for the most part he looked good. He didn't do anything wrong. And if I'm him and I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to start, but bare minimum, do I go to a situation where I can compete? Because if I'm Jameis Winston, now that I'm thinking about it, do I take my talents to Cleveland, or do I take my talents to Chicago, or do I take my talents to the Jets? Or do I try to go to the Giants?
Don't go to the Jets. But there
are an opportunity where I have to play, where I have an opportunity to play.
I think Chicago is a good choice. Jacksonville, you see what Cleveland would do, but I think that it's going to be interesting. I'll say that, but I don't think they're not going to re-sign them. Well, they may because more than likely this is Drew Brees' last season.
Yeah. The only reason I threw Cleveland in there is because it looks like they want to do more, but it feels like maybe Baker Mayfield possibly is holding them back from doing what they want to do. Right now, they're a running team, and I mean, they've got the number one rushing attack in the NFL, and it's working for them. But I don't know if they've just decided to do that, or are they masking, taking the ball out of Baker Mayfield's hands and saying, you know what, we're just going to run with the rushing attack, and then we'll see if he could maybe buy us a play or two a game to where if he's got to make the throw, if he can make the throw type deal. I do have one question I want to ask you.
Okay. We gotta get to the BattleGrounds stuff, but
okay, I want to make it quick. Tom Brady, Tampa Bay, Bruce Arians. Who is the problem?
I don't think either one of them is the problem. I think what Bruce Arians is not a dummy. And I think that no matter what he says about Tom Brady or about the team, it's gonna get sliced and diced. Everybody's gonna make more than what they have to make of it, and it is unnecessary. I think that I think it's much to do about nothing. I think that they're gonna Brady and Arians probably talk often, and things that Arians probably says in the press or in the media, he's told Brady this probably 5 to 10 minutes before he's in front of the media.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree more. I think that if I'm the front office, I fire Arians if they don't win the Super Bowl. I rest a lot of this on him. Tom Brady cannot drop back and sit in that pocket for that long. That's not what he does.
Well, that's Tom Brady's fault. It's Brady's fault. Brady has guys running. It was one series last week on Monday night. It was one series. It was the series where he just kept on throwing it to Antonio Brown. Godwin is running across the field wide open the whole series. And I'm like, why is he trying to force this? It was one time AB was triple covered. And I said, why is he forcing the ball? And you see Godwin just running across the screen. And I'm like, he's wide open.
Arians understands that if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, he's going to be. I think that's why I think that's why he lashed out the way he did in that press conference. Is it wasn't all about coaching. It was like, yo, shoot, dude, I've given you everything that you could possibly ask for. We've been over backwards to give you all the tools and resources, and you make this stuff work in practice, which, by the way, they're probably playing against the scout team anyway, and you're just not making it happen. I look at it a little bit different. I think that they're running these long down the field plays. Tom Brady is 0 for 19 with any play over 20 yards in the past 4 games. It's not there. He's made his living off of getting the ball, reading the defense, getting the ball out. He is not that type of quarterback. And if Bruce Arians cannot make the adjustments, he'll go back to being an offense coordinator or retired, or he can go to his home in Arizona. But I'm telling you, he's got to figure it out. But let's get into the battlegrounds. More to discuss.
Hold on. I ain't gonna let you. You think you're gonna ain't no drop
the mic?
No, hell no. Are you kidding me? No, he's not getting fired. He's not getting fired if they don't make it to the Super Bowl.
You better have a good Kango. No, you better have one of them other Kangos. Listen. A goodbye Kango.
No. I think you're reading way too much into that, and it's not the first time he's lashed out. One thing I think that Arians is doing is he's treating Tom Brady. He's not babying Tom Brady, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's holding him accountable. This man, Tom Brady, is I don't know what he's thinking. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? We'll get to that because we got guys backstage.
All right. But, sound like he doing a lot of shifting and blaming.
Who?
Arians. Yeah.
He's answering the questions. But let's bring Yo.
Hey, how you doing, man?
What's good, y'all?
What's up?
Y'all, pardon me, man.
You got a delay, but it's cool.
Oh, okay. Pardon me. I had a little allergy. Hit me up real quick. I was moving some stuff. I was just mad dusty, man. Got dust in my eyes.
Man, crying. You so happy to see us that you crying, man. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let me get
Hey, this is one of the co-conspirators of the chair movement.
So
word, Scotty, I'm the Tell that man don't give you just leather seats. Tell him you want to see him eye to eye when that's
So we got Earn up here because we do have a bet, and I will pay the bet. So we made a bet before the season. Earn was talking trash to me, like he normally does, and he said that I guess he, I think I might have said, well, I'm better than you in fantasy, which technically, and, I don't think you just get lucky. I think in fantasy it's pretty much like 80% luck or whatever. So
80%.
I mean for everybody.
You hear bullshit? 80%. Like I'm only first in one of his leagues. That's it. But that's 80%.
I'm not saying just you. I'm saying for anybody because you pick these guys up, but who's pretty much the consensus. Most of the time, the consensus number one pick never finishes the season. You know what I'm saying? What's his name? Christian McCaffrey. He was the number one, or Saquon Barkley. I mean, whatever. You just gotta it's the luck of the draw. Shit happens.
I mean, past 2 years though, McCarthy's been a beast for the past.
Exactly, and now he was like he's damn near the consensus number one. Yeah. He goes down in week 2 or week 3. It's like, God damn.
Yeah, so he's killing me.
You said what, Scotty?
He is killing me in the league that y'all talking about. I think me and Ern are tied for first, or we got the same record. But I've had McCaffrey on the bench the whole season, man, waiting on him.
Yeah.
So, but this past week I had like the worst luck ever, man. It was the craziest thing ever. I had a quarterback with negative points. My kicker, and mind you, in this league, the kicker could get points for breathing, and my kicker got 0.
Absolutely.
But it was the craziest thing, but Ern put together because the crazy. I was up like 2 a.m. and my phone is just buzzing because he's picking up a kicker. He picked up another like a running back. I was like, man, when he go to sleep,
brother.
And those two guys that he picked up performed for him. So it was like
that kid. I tell you this though, and I was worried. You had one of the you had Mark Ryan, and he's really good against Matt Ryan, and he's really good at playing against Atlanta with his 2 wideouts. And I was over here like, shoot,
I had Cousins on the bench,
and you had Cousins who went crazy on the bench. And on top of that, I took the kicker from Atlanta. I said, just in case, if I win, I might win by like 1 or 2 points because of the kicker. So I took the kicker. And what are the odds? The kicker had 26 points. Mark Ryan had -1. I was over here like,
I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe so. So I do owe him. I do owe a yoke him up challenge. So here's the thing. Ern reminds me of everything often. Ern didn't hit me up until like 10 minutes ago, and you know, we're preparing for Thanksgiving and work and all that stuff. It just slipped my mind. So yes, I do owe you, Ern.
I know you didn't want to get rid of no eggs. I get it. You know what I mean? You got the family to feed, so I can't even get mad at that. Yeah. Shoot, them eggs, they probably Janiqua's probably gonna make some good ass food with them eggs. I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ern, man. But we got a match up not this week, but next week. So you'll be on again, and you know.
And that's for your other league, right?
I believe so. Man, we in so many leagues, I don't even remember. I think it's the off the record league.
And that's important because we play one time in that league, bro. One.
Is that it?
Yeah. Remember we looked and we was like,
yeah.
I was like, wait, what the hell? Like, I don't know.
You're either in first or second,
right?
And I'm in like 5th right now. So I and even like had I won last week in the other league, I would have clinched the playoff spot. But it's all good, no big deal. But yo, thank you for coming on. We gotta get these battleground participants on here real quick.
Oh, 757. Yo, and I just wanted to say real quick, I know y'all gotta go. I appreciate y'all show. You know me. I think I'm the number 2 fan behind somebody. I agree with, I think it's you or Scotty who said that Bruce Arian won't get fired. That dude's not getting fired, bro.
He's not getting fired.
Scott,
that was Scott that said that, and his crazy takes. That was his hot take for the rest of the season. I don't know where he got that from.
Hey, Market, watch. If they don't go to that Super Bowl and win, they don't get them up out of there, man.
Fired?
He's not making the adjustments.
Mind you, they didn't have a whole off season, so
he's not making the adjustments.
Stay backstage. We're gonna have Derek and Rock on. So we're gonna get. Are you gonna be at the battle?
Yeah. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna jump in real quick and check it out for right around 8:30.
All right, man.
All right, y'all. Do y'all thing. Peace and love, y'all.
All right. So that's let's get these guys on here, man.
Okay. All right,
so
they look ready too.
While Rock look like he in the studio, Derek actually looks like he's in the same studio. Like with the pictures in the background, and so we got this battle, and these guys, they were supposed to battle about like 2 months ago, about a month and a half ago.
It's been about 3 months now, bro.
I don't think it's been that long, but
I can't be that long.
I don't know, and it doesn't matter. So, fellas, Derek's been waiting for this matchup. He's been patiently waiting. Rock has been patiently waiting for another battle. So last time we see you, Rock, you had a really good comeback against Fate. You were down 5-2, and they ended up winning four rounds in a row. So how you feeling going into this matchup against Derek?
First of all, happy Thanksgiving to everybody that's up here. I hope y'all ready prepare for your families tomorrow. So,
absolutely.
I owe this to Derek, man. Derek, he's been saying the last month or so I've been ducking him. Derek, I apologize that we couldn't go the first Wednesday we supposed to went, but in the next 30 minutes it's going to be showtime. So, I'm here tonight. God willing, we here tonight. I just want to hear some good music, man. I want y'all to hear some good music, and ain't no smash talk from me, man. I'm up here. I'm humble, man. I just want to see what's going to happen,
All right, Derek. We can't hear you. Oh boy, let me find. I hope you ain't got no. No, we can't hear you. Go out and come back in.
Pause.
What? Yo, grow up, man. Hey, Rock, grow up, Rock.
What's going on, Rock, man? How you doing, brother?
Hey, look, let me run a quick sound check with y'all, man, because they was clowning me last week, so I got Big Daddy up today, bro. Let me know what y'all hear, man.
That's low.
Turn it up. It's low.
That's what you, Scott.
Turn it up. Yo, your sound is low.
I ain't gonna give you no more.
Well, Rock, we barely heard it, but okay.
Yeah, so hold on. You say y'all couldn't hear it?
Not for real.
It was a little low.
So,
it was low? It was low?
Yeah, hold on. Go ahead, Derek. Derek, we can't hear you. Now I hear. Lord. So hold on a second. So, hey, y'all can hear me, right? So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Hey, Derek, come back. I'll send y'all the Zoom. Yo, we'll just be on BattleGrounds TV. We got to get up out of here, man. Hey, Rock. Not you, but Jamal. He posted, y'all overvaluing the kickers in the league, and that's not the case. What I ended up doing was Yahoo offered another way to score for the kickers where you can score the yardage for their field goals. So it's almost like it's 0.1 points. You get 0.1 points for the yardage, and that's happened to add points. Which I think is cool. I like it. So
I mean it gives a different twist. I think next year, if I play in this league, I'll probably draft a kicker in the second or third round.
Yo, shut up, man.
The kicker.
I get what y'all 830.
All right, peace, brother. Nah, but I like what you did with the bonus points, because all positions have bonus points. Mm-hmm. It's just the kicker can get to the bonus points a lot easier. Because you get the bonus points for if a quarterback throws over 300. A running back goes over 100 and a receiver goes over 100. So I like the bonus points. We just give you a lot of crap because some kickers picking up 30 or 40 points. Like sometimes that do be the difference, especially if your kicker only gives you 4 or 5 points. So
I agree. No, I definitely agree. It's just interesting, man. But
I do like this dynasty league that Jamal just suggested. Mm-hmm. He can say, "Hey, you can set it up. We'll play."
Yeah, I ain't setting up another league.
Nah,
but again, 8:30. We got the BattleGrounds. Y'all know where to find it. I shouldn't have to tell you again, but you can find it on my Facebook page. So we may go we'll go on Facebook and not YouTube, man. But so let's get out of here. We gotta make sure Derek's sound is good, so we gotta make sure everything is good. But all right, this is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B.
Yo.
Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo.